Welcome to LMP Talks Wrestling Predictions. Apologies for not getting a normal wrestling podcast out earlier in the week, but it was kind of a blessing in disguise. This led me to coming up with an idea before pay-per-views. I started putting out predictions last year by myself, but I decided to start a monthly prediction special with a good friend of mine who has been on the podcast already a few times. So with that, let me introduce him. We last chatted on episode 22, and he's back to dish out an amazing prediction special. Please help me welcome Josh. How's it going today?
That's going pretty good.
That's good. I'm kind of excited to do this prediction special. Are you excited about the Royal Rumble?
It'll be an interesting one with Paul Heyman's prediction again.
Yeah.
Or not prediction, spoiler, as he puts it.
A spoiler. Brock Lesnar will walk in at number 1 and walk out at number 30.
Mm-hmm.
Go through all 30 men and become or retain the championship, I guess. Nobody who tosses him out will win it, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we'll just we'll dive right into it, and we'll just go up the card and leave the Rumble until a little bit later, because I think there's 6 matches on the card minus the 2 Royal Rumbles. So,
yep.
All right, we'll start off at the bottom, and I'm assuming it'll be the opening match, and that's Sheamus versus Shorty G in a singles match. Who do you got and why?
Sheamus. And I'm thinking they're pretty much doing the exact same thing that they did with Daniel Bryan, where he's just going to crush him.
In a few seconds, just like a bro kick?
Oh, just a bro kick and just pinned. Like, try to beat his record of the fastest time. Was it like 8 seconds from start to finish or something like that?
Yeah, it's something close to that. Yeah, what WrestleMania was that? That was 20. I wanna 14, maybe 2015. I can't even remember.
I'm not too sure.
Oh man, it was a while back though. But yeah,
it was a good while back. Yeah,
kind of crazy how that happened to Daniel Bryan of all people, because Daniel Bryan is a phenomenal wrestler, and look where he is today.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm also going for Sheamus as well, but I'm wondering if I said this earlier this morning when I was recording with Simon Miller, and shout out to him as well. But we were also predicting the Royal Rumble, and I'm wondering if Shorty G actually wins, and then the feud continues, because we've seen Sheamus and Shorty G like kind of argue a bit backstage, but Shorty G got the upper hand on him, because he kind of he beat him up backstage, and it made him look strong. Like, it made him look like he wasn't taking any crap from Sheamus.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this will be a one-off feud or not, but if it's a one-off feud, then I believe Sheamus needs to win, just so that it can cement his return and that he's actually a threat.
Absolutely.
If he comes back and just loses in his first feud, it's kind of the same thing with every return in WWE.
And especially given the popularity that he's kind of gained on his YouTube channel as well.
Yeah,
he's gotten like shredded from doing all the different workouts with various WWE stars.
Yeah, he's got his own YouTube channel and everything. Like, he's gotten really popular, and yeah, he's definitely shredded is the word. He looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when Rusev came back that time and he was all ripped.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, so we're both saying Sheamus.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, Falls Count Anywhere, singles match, Roman Reigns versus King Corbin. What do you got?
I got Corbin.
Got Corbin. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're just gonna keep on this whole on top of Roman and just beating him down because he has no one he can connect with inside the company, and whereas Corbin has a massive entourage at this point. Falls Count Anywhere, he's just gonna wander through the stadium, I'm gonna guess, and let everybody else beat him up for him.
Well, to be fair, people might actually beat up King Corbin.
This is true.
But you make a good point there. Roman Reigns losing to King Corbin, that kind of throws off my Royal Rumble talk a little later, but we'll get into that. But I think Roman Reigns is going to win because I want this feud to end. And I know that I know Roman Reigns I think he's going to win because I want this feud to win, or feud to end. That is my reasoning.
Mhm.
Nothing else. I'm so tired of Roman Reigns versus King Corbin. It's gone on too long. 2 to 3 months.
Again,
Too much.
yeah. Another one of their attempts, and it just drags on too much. Where they either should have cut it off or let it simmer for a little bit and then bring it back.
Yeah, and again, I don't mind long feuds at all. I really don't when they're really juicy. Like back in last year, we were having the Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky going at it, and they were carrying on for quite a few weeks, and that was hot as hell.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just depends on what you bring into the story, and this is just, I mean, the Falls Count Anywhere makes it at least interesting to watch, but storyline, I have no interest, and I can't wait till this ends.
Same.
But Roman Reigns versus King Corbin. The thing is, if your pick wins, then this feud will probably continue.
Oh yeah. I have a feeling it might go for another solid month.
You shut your mouth. Don't you say such terrible negative things on this podcast. All right, well, we're moving on to the United States Championship, which kind of came really fast for Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah.
So it's Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo for the United States Championship. Who do you got and why?
I really have no idea what direction they might be going with this, but I'm going with Andrade. Because I think they might just keep it on him because the Humberto just doesn't quite have that oomph yet. Like they haven't given him a proper move to really kind of give him a reason to have the title yet.
Yeah, he's been kind of floating around that picture, and he's great in the ring, and he's definitely like a future player on Raw as long as he keeps his nose clean, nothing bad happens, doesn't get injured or anything. Like as he's a future player, that's for sure. But yeah, I agree. It's just too soon right now in the feud. Like to be fair, I was kind of thrown off when the guy with the mask was looking at Andrade in the outside the ring on Raw there. I really thought that was going to be Rey Mysterio's son.
Yeah.
I thought that was a perfect moment for that to happen because Andrade gets through Rey Mysterio and then his son appears and in the mask and so that would have been kind of cool.
That would have been, but I'm guessing he's just not quite ready for it yet.
Yeah, he's probably not, but we'll definitely see him. But I'm with you. I'll definitely pick Andrade. So that's an easy one. And then going into the SmackDown Women's Championship, we have Bayley versus Lacey Evans. Who do you got and why?
I'm thinking it's gonna be Lacey Evans this time around getting it. I think they're actually gonna put the title on her, because I think Bayley's just kind of run out of steam.
Possibly. Running out of steam though is interesting because do you think it's because it's Bayley or in her new character, or do you think it's the feud that's kind of killed the thing?
I want to say it's like a little combination of Bayley's new persona and the feud, given Lacey's just apparent face turn. Like there was really little to no explanation to why she decided to be nice. Apparently.
I went on a lovely rant on that podcast this morning. People will hear that on Sunday, but I spoke all about Lacey Evans in this match, and I'll share it on here as well. The whole face turn with Lacey Evans, I can't get behind it. There's no way, and I could get behind it if I, pretended to forget everything that happened last year, but I can't because I'm a fan and I watch the show every week.
And it happened.
And it happened, exactly. And at some point, and I keep saying this, it is not the audience's job to come up with situations to justify what happens on television. And it's certainly not our job to purposely forget things to help the future storyline. It is WWE's responsibility completely. And I even said this earlier that, even within 2 weeks, let's say 2 SmackDown episodes, there was some sort of reason, like Lacey said something, Lacey did something, or Bayley and Sasha were just beating up Lacey Evans for the hell of it, and then that's how she turned into a face. Like she came from Raw, they thought she was, terrible person, and which she kind of was, and they beat her up, and then everybody feels sympathy for her, and then she plays the Marine story. Then she says, "I'm a mother," like all that stuff. I don't mind that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't mind that she's or former Marine. I don't mind that she's a mother.
Yeah.
I don't mind any of that. It's just what I was given before, and then a complete 180 happened, and
Yeah.
I'm left confused, and I can't get behind her. I just because nothing she says is believable to me because I know exactly who she was last year.
Yep.
Like she threw sweaty, tissues in people's faces, like from her armpits. She called
Mm-hmm.
the audience trash. She said everybody was beneath her. Thousands and thousands of people beneath her. And then all of a sudden, I'm a Marine. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
mother. And you got to love me. And no.
And and also having a set of matches with King Corbin or Corbin at the time, as well, and he's still a heel. It's just like
Yep.
that was the closest thing to the last thing I remember with Lacey Evans that
Yep.
was like prominent that they were doing, and it's just like, okay, did she get sick of him? It's like I don't want to, exactly like you were saying, I don't want to have to come up with the plot devices to fill in the gaps.
Yep. Exactly. It's not our job as fans. It just isn't. Like,
Mhm.
and I don't understand why WWE continues to think that. And like we spoke about Big Show too, and I know this is kind of off topic, but a Big Show who returned there a couple of weeks on Raw. You and me and a few others were all watching it together that night,
Mhm.
and I specifically said, "Oh, I was not excited at all about Big Show. I was very, underwhelmed, and I was like, oh, he'll go away in a couple of weeks."
Yep.
And I was right. Like
Yep.
that's why I wasn't like all over Raw. Samoa Joe and was like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to show you who my partner is. Oh, I can't wait to show you everybody who this partner is. I know a guy. He's amazing. He's amazing." And I was
Mhm.
like, "Who is this guy gonna be? Or is somebody coming from an injury?" But
Yep.
Big Show hasn't been on TV for weeks, and he's gone like from face to heel, from face to heel, from face to heel so many times. Like Lacey, well, like kind of the Lacey Evans situation, even though she
Yeah.
hasn't done that yet. And
She's
again,
on her
I am
way.
all yeah, she's certainly on her way. Yeah. But again, like maybe in 6 months or so, when I kind of cool off and kind of just let my mind forget the whole 2019 Lacey Evans, I'll
Yeah.
be able to get behind this character because she is a good wrestler, and
Oh, absolutely.
I can see the character that they're trying to portray with her. I really do get it, but I just can't get behind it because as a fan, I know. So anybody who didn't watch last year, I guess, can become a fan of her now.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's that match. But I think Bailey's gonna retain because I just can't. I can't even with Lacey Evans.
Yeah, I know.
Moving on to the next women's match, we have Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Who do you got?
I might be a bit contrarian just based on the facts of who's holding what title right now, but I'm going with Asuka.
Going with Asuka.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm thinking that they might just do kind of something funny with Asuka and give her these two belts, and one of them being the tag titles, because they have little to no care about the tag titles in any division. So it's just kind of something there, and they're going along with this Asuka versus um,
Oh, Becky Lynch.
that they might drop the title off of her with this whole the fact that Asuka has been using the spray thing from her mouth so often, and the refs are just bamboozled by this. And can't clearly see that the person on the mat that is clutching at their face has stuff on their face, and be like, yeah, no, you've clearly done something. I think they're just going to keep going with that right now, and they're going to move the title to Asuka.
They very, very well could. And I will take out my tinfoil hat. And without my tinfoil hat, Becky Lynch will retain. But
Mm-hmm.
with my tinfoil hat on, I do think Asuka would win. I know there was lots of talks about Becky Lynch possibly going to AEW. I know her contract is coming up soon. I mean, she'd be a fool to go to AEW right now with how well WWE has treated her this last year.
Yeah.
But I mean, to hold the title for this long or being given both women's titles at WrestleMania and all that stuff is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But Asuka beating Becky Lynch and Asuka being the woman that Becky could not ever beat is really interesting. And we could even extend that feud. Becky
Yep.
Lynch lose against Asuka, and then eventually Asuka, would lose maybe at a further date. But having this always one woman hanging over, the man's head that she can't get by is amazing.
Yeah.
So it makes a better storyline, but at the same time, if Becky Lynch retains, then we can possibly have the whole Shayna Baszler feud.
Yeah.
So, and that's more Royal Rumble talk in a few minutes. But yeah, this is where I go back and forth. I'm very, very torn on this, but I think my prediction is a little too bold.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm just going to go with Becky Lynch retaining.
Yeah, fair enough.
But who knows? You could be right. Asuka could win.
Yeah. It's just the funny way they keep playing with the tag titles. It's strange.
I don't understand them. They were just introduced in February. They haven't even been out a year yet,
No.
and they've just been. And to be fair,
yeah.
To be fair though, the whole Kabuki Warrior heel turn has been actually pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm. Like I've enjoyed that, but who do they have to go against?
Yeah.
Like I can't really recall any tag teams in like the women's division as of late. Most of them have like fallen apart in a weird way.
Yeah, I mean the Riot Squad split,
Yeah.
and I mean Ruby Riot's eventually going to be coming back. She's rumored to come back at the Royal Rumble actually.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah Logan's on solo, and she's not doing anything. Although I was kind of curious if they were going to go Charlotte versus Sarah Logan in some sort of feud. I was curious to where that was going, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Probably not.
And then, of course, Liv Morgan is with Rusev. So, I mean, I don't understand this whole breaking up even the Riot Squad because you need tag teams. The Riot Squad wasn't even given a proper, run with those. I think they would have been done great. Have Ruby Riot your champion and have the Riot Squad have the 2 titles. That sounds great.
But like the other side, just to the tag title pictures and all of them, that they have, you have a staple of 4 men that 2 of them are tag team competitors. The other 2 were just kind of pushed together and given a tag title shot, and they won.
Yep.
The tag titles, while the other 2 are standing there, probably wondering what the heck. If not, they'll like flip on those 2 so they can get the titles because that would make sense. But I have no idea with the way WWE has that stuff set up.
Well, you know what they say, stuff just happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this stuff does just happen. And it makes you go, huh, okay.
Well, before we get to the Universal Championship with The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan, speaking of the tag team picture, I just want your thoughts on this. It would be a hypocrite for me not to critique this. So it all depends on where it goes. And there's 2 situations where this goes. So first of all, it's on Raw, where we have Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins, again, 2 people who were just thrown together, took the tag titles off of the Viking Raiders, who are an actual tag team.
Yep.
I was convinced that the Authors of Pain would have gotten them. It makes so much more sense.
Way more sense.
But I'm really liking this Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, Authors of Pain kind of group. What's going on here? I actually really like it. I'm really interested by it. I'm just not fully interested in this, but only because WWE has led me astray for so long, where they've just not cared about the tag team titles and throwing them on random people. So I'm already predetermined to think, oh, this is going to suck. However, it could turn out really, really well. And then the second situation, and I want your opinion on both of these. I know we're talking WWE right now, but it's on AEW. Now, as you know, Kenny Omega and Hangman Page won the titles off of SCU.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I would be a hypocrite not to look at that
and not feel the same. Yeah.
And not feel the same, exactly. But the difference is AEW hasn't led me astray yet, or hasn't, years of leading me astray. This isn't just a one-off, and I'm going to think AEW does this forever. No. That I'm not that type of person. AEW does not get the same treatment that WWE has because they have not been around that long.
Yep.
But I would be so I'm scared to see where this feud goes with the tag titles on Kenny Omega and Page. I thought it would have imploded right then and there, and Page would have turned heel.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could go. They're the storylines that they have in AEW. For the most part, I really, really, really enjoy them, and they make a lot of sense. And it's Kenny
Right.
Omega and it's Adam Page, so I'm not too worried there. But now that you know both tag team situations, what do you think of that?
Mm. Well, I kind of find with WWE, it's more the duration that they like to leave the titles on. The mishmash groups of tag team title holders that they've had, they end up sitting there like they're an actual like tag team group, like they're going to be doing this for a good while. Like they should have a name, not just these two people who have separate intros and are tag team title champions.
Right.
Um, we just have to wait and see what they do with AEW. If it's only like a flash in the pan kind of thing where it leads up to Hangman Page turning heel on Kenny Omega because they end up losing the titles in a really weird way, and Hangman feels that it was Page's fault, or not Hangman, it's Kenny Omega's fault.
Yeah, so many wrestlers.
Yeah, I know. Um, so it depends. Just got to see how they'll pan it out. Whereas WWE has a track record of leaving these titles on those sets of people.
Yeah. Hopefully, it'll turn out good on both situations because I'm not upset at all that Buddy Murphy is a tag team champion. I'm just really glad that he has some gold now. Well, I guess
Me too.
Technically silver, I guess if you wanna.
Yeah. It's actually just aluminum.
That should be your first clue, actually. But that should be your first clue about Vince McMahon not liking the tag divisions. All the titles have silver in them for the most part. I mean, the women's tag titles are actually quite pretty. They're gold and silver. But I think both men's divisions titles are just all silver, which is lower than gold. So automatically Vince is just lowering the tag titles already.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the intermission version of the tag team title discussion over with. Back to the WWE Universal Championship. The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. Who do you got and why?
The Fiend, because it's just so good. Like they're both talented wrestlers, and the Fiend plot has just been doing so well. It hasn't really lost a beat outside of a few little hiccups, but weren't even that big of a hiccup.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see Daniel Bryan winning here at all. I think it's just a really good feud in the way before WrestleMania. And I mean, of course, he'll feud against a couple other people, I'm sure, before Mania, because there's Elimination Chamber, and then next month we're going back to Saudi Arabia if the rumors are true.
Ugh.
So yeah, they're getting rid of the Fastlane pay-per-view that's usually on February. So interesting. Yeah. I think it's February 27th, which is a Thursday. They're going back to Saudi Arabia, and then they're going to have Friday Night SmackDown again. And we all knew how that went last time.
Yeah.
It actually went pretty good. SmackDown was amazing because it had everybody from NXT on it.
True. This is true.
So, I do think that the Fiend will definitely retain, though, getting back to that. You and I have talked about the Fiend for a long time now, and it's it's really impressive that WWE has stuck to this character so well. And I mean, you're right, we've had some hiccups. I mean, the whole Hell in a Cell thing was a little complicated, if that.
Yeah.
That's the best word, maybe the easiest word I could use for that. But everything else has been really, really good, and except for the belt, the whole Fiend belt. I don't really care. Do you like it?
I could definitely see the kind of people that would really enjoy it, but for myself, it's a little off-putting.
Well, the most off-putting part is that it's $6,500.
That's even more off-putting.
Like, it doesn't even look like it has any gold on it or it's worth anything. It looks like a child's toy.
No. Well, I am imagining if they're selling it for that kind of price, I would have to imagine that the face of it is probably a really nice cast mold that has some weight to it, so it's not just just like you're spending for the leather. It would have to be something that's a fair bit durable
I
to
would really,
sell it for that kind of price.
I would really, really hope that it's a good condition belt for that price. Because I mean,
And hand painted. Like I'd imagine it'd have to be hand painted.
oh man, hand painting all of those would be no wonder it's so expensive.
Yeah. To have it accurate and precise, I would imagine a good amount of that would probably be hand painted, like airbrushed and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have one of the replica belts, as you know, and that cost a pretty penny, but that was nowhere near the price of the Bray Wyatt championship.
Yeah.
And my replica looks better than that. So and that's a replica. So
yeah.
All right. Well, that is all the matches. Now we'll dive into the Royal Rumble. And we'll start off with the Women's Royal Rumble. Just for fun, give me 3 picks. Who do you think's going to win?
The 3 of the 5 that are available?
Well, yeah. There's actually quite a lot of women in WWE, so they're going to fill it up with surprises.
Oh, yeah.
SmackDown Raw. I'm not worried.
But come on, give us a few more, like the 25 of the 30 that the men list have. Like, give us at least numbers to go off of, so we could at least have a little bit more fun with making predictions. But with the 5 we got here, I'm gonna put. Let's go with Nikki Cross at 3. Yeah, Alexa Bliss at 2 and Charlotte at 1.
Okay, all right.
I'm thinking Charlotte's getting another big push again.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I think Shayna Baszler's going to win. That's the rumored pick for a long time now, and it just makes so much sense with the whole Becky Lynch situation. Like, have that full circle. Like, Becky beat Shayna. Shayna could come back, take the title from her, and maybe come up to the main roster, because there are a lot of women down in NXT now. They have an amazing women's division. Like, I'm really, really impressed with what they've done down there. So I don't think Shayna needs to be down there anymore. So, but she also had a little mini feud that started on NXT, so I don't really know about that. But who knows? But Shayna's definitely my number 1. As for 2, Charlotte Flair for sure. If Shayna doesn't win, Charlotte, I think, is definitely going to win. And then I can't see anybody else besides Charlotte winning, but I'm throwing Alexa Bliss in there because I'm kind of biased. But I also said on Simon's podcast this morning, and I'll say this here as well, she didn't have a really good year last year when it came to health. Like, she had a lot of concussions. She was out for a while. She couldn't really get back into the mix of things. Yes, she was a women's tag team champion for a bit, but for the most part, she didn't do much last year because of injuries and health scares. So I'm wondering if they had, and this is me putting a lot of faith into WWE, had plans for Alexa Bliss, like months worth of plans, but they couldn't do them because of her situation. So I'm wondering if they'll give it to her here, because she is a high status women's wrestler. She's not just some like random person. She's a 6-time champion, I believe, and a former tag team champion. So she might win it and then go on to WrestleMania and face whomever. So who knows? Because she's already Money in the Bank winner. That's my reasons for putting her number 3, other than I'm just biased. And if Alexa Bliss does win the Royal Rumble, all of Canada will hear me screaming. If you hear some crazy thing, just screaming away Sunday night into the evening, just ignore it. That's just me. So do you have any bonus picks for the Women's Royal Rumble? Like, do you think anybody is who do you think is going to jump in, or like surprise picks?
I honestly couldn't say off the top of my head. I'm so bad with a lot of the names.
Any legends? Trish, Lita, Beth Phoenix.
I can maybe see Trish popping in.
Again?
Yeah, maybe.
I thought that. She's been in the last 2 Royal Rumbles. And she just had her retirement match against Charlotte Flair. So I'm really hoping she just doesn't come back. I love Trish more than Alexa Bliss. And I think that ending to her with Charlotte Flair was just
Mm-hmm.
Leave it there. Just leave it there. It doesn't need to go any further. So that's my opinion on Trish. But I was thinking maybe Beth Phoenix because she's a commentator on NXT, but she might have more of a chance. Or Lita because she's still backstage. I think at times.
Yeah.
She still works with them. But I think Ronda Rousey might make a bonus. Yeah, make a bonus appearance just because.
Yeah.
Well, she could also win the Royal Rumble as well.
That is true. That would be an interesting way for her to come back.
Yeah, I thought about that being full circle as well because she could also go against Becky Lynch because Ronda Rousey hasn't been seen, I think, since the last WrestleMania where Becky Lynch defeated her for the title. So that would be good for her to come back into the Rumble, win it, and then go against Becky on how Becky did it to Ronda. So I think that would be good too. So like I'm okay with Shayna winning. I'm okay with Charlotte winning. I'm okay with Alexa winning. I'm okay with Ronda even winning.
Oh yeah.
The only thing I don't like about Ronda Rousey's appearance or possible appearance is if she does win the title again. And a lot of people have said this, and I don't like when people say it. It's that, there's something missing from the women's division ever since Ronda Rousey left. And I'm like, no, there isn't. What's missing is the company taking a shot on their current full-time roster. If a part-timer leaves and then there's something missing, that's really bad for the company. That just shows that they had no plans or anybody to bet on or to bank on. They just relied on the part-timer, and then the audience is left with full-time people that they don't want to get behind.
Yep.
So, like, what's your opinion on that?
I'm really kind of the same way you are. It's just kind of waning on it still.
I really wish WWE would stop relying on part-timers. And speaking of part-timers too, and I'm just going to use that to segue right into the men's Royal Rumble match. And we'll do the same thing there with 3 picks, but I know a lot of Tyson Fury, Conor McGregor, or there's a few other part-timers that are planning to come in to the Royal Rumble and possibly even face Lesnar at WrestleMania. But I don't want them to win. I know Brock Lesnar is technically a part-timer, but I don't want another part-timer to defeat another part-timer. They're probably going to be on Raw less than he is. I mean, he's been on for the last 3 weeks on Raw, which has been good. They're showcasing the actual champion, which is nice. So, who do you think is going to win most of all?
Brock's going through this whole thing.
You think you're going all the way, are you?
Yeah, I'm on this train. I'm on the Paul Heyman train. And number 2 and number 3 is obviously number 2 is 30 and number 3 is number 29. It really don't matter. Brock's going through them all.
All right. So you're not even picking a second or third. You're just going Lesnar.
Yep.
You're not even picking extra picks. Wow, that's all in, and there's not even an AEW around. That's awesome. So you think Lesnar's going to go through all 30 people and and win the Rumble? Oh man, can you imagine how angry people are going to be?
Oh, they'll be pissed.
Now, do you want it to happen, or are you just betting on it?
Part of me wants it to happen because I think it'd be hilarious just to have Brock just bury everybody on the Rumble. And I could see them doing it. It's just something in the back of my mind that just sits there like, I think they'd probably do it. Bury most, like a good portion of the roster and just have Brock at the top.
I really want to say you're wrong, but WWE is definitely capable of this. Oh, man. Well, I'm going to give you my 3 picks because I have hope.
Yeah.
Even though WWE has taught me for the past 25 years not to have hope. But I'm going to go with Roman Reigns. Okay. I believe he will win. And if he doesn't win, I still think he's going to have a feud with Bray Wyatt very, very soon.
Oh, yeah.
He's my SmackDown pick. I actually have a pick for each brand. So Roman Reigns is my first pick. That's my SmackDown. My Raw pick for number 2 is Drew McIntyre. There's a lot of rumors about him winning the and seeing Drew versus Brock, abso-friggin-lutely. I would love
That'd be a good match, yeah.
Then there's my NXT pick. And I only have an NXT pick because I've heard rumors that WWE wants NXT to be a big part of WrestleMania this year.
Mm.
So I'm wondering if, the winner of the Royal Rumble this year is NXT because they wanted Survivor Series.
That'd be really cool.
It would be really cool. And I'm curious as to how they would have it. Like if the winner of NXT, would they go towards the NXT championship or would they get to choose any, you know what I mean?
Mm.
But my winner for that is Finn Balor.
Mm.
Finn Balor recently went back to NXT. I think he's in line to win it. He's going to be facing Johnny Gargano at TakeOver in February, which will be really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you'll see Finn Balor win the Royal Rumble. If it's anybody from NXT, it'll be Finn Balor. Or a lot of people have said this too. It could be Keith Lee, but my pick is definitely Finn Balor for number 3.
I could definitely see Finn.
I can't see Keith Lee winning now because he captured the North American title on
Yeah.
Wednesday, which is a great match, by the way. Anybody who hasn't seen it, definitely go watch it. It's got everything. So since you're going all the way with Brock Lesnar, which 2 wrestlers do you think will make a surprise appearance in the Rumble? Similar to the 2 picks we had in the women's.
Well,
And it could be
maybe.
any legends.
Well, yeah, maybe Kane. I could probably
Okay.
see Kane coming back.
All right.
Just for that brief spot again. It'd be awesome if Cena came back for that one match.
He's one of my picks, actually.
He'd be my second.
Okay. John Cena is definitely one of my bonus picks. He has a history with Bray Wyatt, as you know.
Mm.
And he has a history with Lesnar as well. But
Oh yeah,
he's got a really big history with Bray Wyatt, and the Fiend bringing that out with John Cena. I think if John Cena won the SmackDown Royal Rumble, and again, I will go back to what I said earlier: a part-timer coming in and defeating a full-timer. I don't like it. However, there is a reason why this is an exception, and that's because if John Cena beats the Fiend, John Cena has never held the Universal title, and he's a 16-time champion, so he has to beat that record. I mean, he doesn't have to, but I think he's going to. And if he beats it with a title that he's never had before, it's even better. And John Cena back on Fox and back on SmackDown will bring so much ratings to that show.
Oh yeah.
And him and the Fiend will have an amazing feud. Like if Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt have the feud and Roman Reigns does win the Royal Rumble, then the question is, does Roman Reigns beat the Fiend? Because they also have a lot of history.
Mm-hmm.
But does Roman Reigns beat the Fiend, or does he go heel like everybody else? Because they've been dropping that a lot on commentary. Everybody who the Fiend is with changes. Everybody. So I'm wondering if Roman Reigns will actually change, because we've never seen this heel Roman Reigns before, unless you're counting his Shield days like earlier on.
Mm.
But Roman Reigns winning there would, if Roman Reigns beat the Fiend, he would still be face, and that would be all right too. Like eventually the Fiend would lose, and it would make sense. I'm all for the Fiend losing at Mania. He's held it as long as I've wanted him to hold it for. So I'm happy now. But again, if John Cena wins, then you can also have that same feud against a person who doesn't go heel. If John Cena loses, will John Cena finally go heel?
That'd give him a reason to be away for a really long time again.
Yeah, I mean he's probably not going to be wrestling for very much longer, because he's such a famous actor now that he doesn't risk injuries or anything like that.
Yeah, way too busy.
I can't speak for him anyway. For all I know, he has the next 2 years of wrestling lined up for him. I don't know, but but my last bonus pick though, and I have to throw it in there, and for everybody listening, and yes, I'm one of those guys. CM Punk.
You actually think Punk's gonna come back?
Oh, he's not. I'm not even saying for a full time either, or even a win. I think that he's just gonna make a one-off.
Just a one-off.
Just a one-off. Like if he was gonna come back, and I know all this happens for so many years, but if there was any time, it would be now, because he's with Fox. It's the closest he's ever been to WWE. He's in the same room as the wrestlers, for God's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
Just Fox and WWE work something out where he can just come in for like 15 minutes in the Rumble, make everybody scream, and then just get kicked out. And that's it. He did his Rumble thing. That's it. Everybody would lose their mind. He doesn't need to be on Raw. He doesn't need to be on SmackDown. Just everybody would lose their freaking mind.
That is true.
And it would be a cheap pop, a really easy pop, and I don't think there would be anybody upset by this. But who knows? I mean, I don't... Will it happen? Probably not. Probably not. But again, if it were to happen, now would be the best time. All the planets are aligned, as they say.
Yep.
All right. Well, we have about only a few minutes left, so we'll go through the Worlds Collide card very, very quickly, because I know you haven't been watching very much NXT, have you?
No, not much, yeah.
All right. That's fair. So we'll just quickly go through the Worlds Collide card. It's only 6 matches.
Mm-hmm.
NXT Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm.
Rhea Ripley.
I'm going Rhea Ripley as well. And NXT Cruiserweight Championship, Angel Garza versus Asaya Scott versus Jordan Devlin versus Travis Banks.
I'm going with Travis Banks.
Travis Banks?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Angel Garza is going to retain here. He only got it about a month and a half ago or something. And I think him and Leo Rush have one more future match together for that title. Did you see that, by the way?
I missed that one.
Okay, at some point, if you can find it on YouTube or something, watch Angel Garza versus Leo Rush. Holy freaking crap! Amazing match, amazing. And I never thought the words "amazing match" would have come out of my mouth with Leo Rush, just because we went from Lashley.
Yeah.
So we went from that to this. So it was amazing. But I definitely think Angel Garza is going to retain. 8-man tag team match: Imperium versus the Undisputed Era.
I'm going with the Imperium.
Me too. I think Imperium has a statement to make here, and if they can make NXT UK look really, really strong in Worlds Collide, then they have some good booking ahead. Tag team match: the returning DIY versus Mustache Mountain.
I got Mustache Mountain.
Mustache? You got the mustache?
Yeah.
Mustache Mountain? I think DIY will retain because it's for a special one-off, but at the same time, Mustache Mountain could easily win because DIY, this could be the catalyst for reintroducing that feud between Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? Singles match versus Finn Balor versus, I think it's Ilja. I'm very poor on this guy's name, but Dragunov, I believe his name, or Dragunov. I can't remember his name. I apologize for not being able to pronounce his name, but it's a singles match between Finn Balor and an NXT UK guy.
I got Finn.
Finn, yeah, me too. But the guy he's facing looks pretty impressive. I've seen now a couple of things of his, and I'm like, okay, looks interesting. And singles match on the pre-show, which will be Mia Yim versus Kaylee Ray. Which Kaylee Ray is your NXT UK Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm. I got Kaylee Ray.
Me too. I can't see Mia Yim beating the NXT UK Women's Champion. Same. I can't see it. I think it would be, unless Mia Yim's going to go to NXT UK and they're going to start a feud there. Well, then by all means, if the ends justify the means, then all for it.
Oh yeah.
Now, do you think NXT will win the most matches, or do you think NXT UK will?
I'm thinking NXT UK might. Just by like one.
Yeah, for me, I'm thinking NXT. I want it to be tied. I want it to be 3-3 because it's 6 matches in total. So if it's 3-3, that'll be neck and neck, and that'll prove that NXT UK is just as good as NXT on that bragging right situation. So, all right, Well, with that, we'll wrap things up. Thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, no problem. Great to be here.
Yeah, we'll get another one set up for next month. We're gonna do prediction specials from now on. We're gonna have a 45-minute discussion on whatever pay-per-view is going on at the time. We have Revolution coming up on February 29th. New Japan has an event coming up. I'm not sure if we'll do a prediction show on that, just because less people watch New Japan. Although I can't wait to watch it. Tetsuya Naito versus Kenta for both the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the Intercontinental title. Like Kenta Hideo Itami from NXT is facing Tetsuya Naito for the friggin' titles. Can't wait.
Nice.
And then we have Will Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. So, I mean, I can't wait to see that stuff. And then we have the dreadful Saudi event happening at the end of February as well. So we'll do some. We might even do predictions for the Saudi Arabia and Revolution that same week at the end of February. All right. Well, as always, you can catch me on any of my social media on Facebook under Lotus Moon Productions, SoundCloud under Lotus Moon Productions, Twitter under Lotus Moon Prod, and now you can find me on YouTube under Lotus Moon Productions. Once I get to 100 subscribers, I will definitely get a custom URL so it's easier for people to see. And with that, this has been LMP.